Happy September 30th, 2020. How are you?
I am good.
Take it away there
All
with this
right.
day in history.
This day in history, 1630, John Billington, one of the original pilgrims who sailed over on the Mayflower, became the first man executed in the English colonies, hung for shooting another man. And then in 1846, the first anesthetized tooth extraction is performed by Dr. William Morton in Charleston, Massachusetts. 1927, Babe Ruth hits his 60th home run of the season for the Yankees. Big number because most teams in those days were lucky if they hit a combined 30. Now you have a guy hitting 60 for a season, so definitely changed the game of baseball. 1954, NATO agreed to arm and admit Germany. So I guess, they were starting to, calm the pressure on Germany after World War II. 1955, James Dean is killed in a single car crash with his Porsche. He was on the way to enter into a car race. 1924, Truman Capote was born. He famous for writing Breakfast at Tiffany's, also and In Cold Blood. 1928, Elie Wiesel. He was a Jew who was in the concentration camps during World War II. Had a famous book called Night.
Yes.
I read it in college.
I read that in high school.
Excellent book. In 1935, a singer who my father actually said is one of his favorite singers, Johnny Mathis.
Johnny Mathis.
Yeah, never really heard too much by him, but apparently,
Grandpa almost likes like indie Motown.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to like a group called the Jive Five. So anybody from that time era will.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Yeah, so he definitely knows his shit, the old stuff. So
For sure.
anyway, let's not waste any more time. There was too much last night to talk about. So
I really enjoyed it.
So let's hear some of your thoughts on this the debate. Debate
Imagine
numero
if
uno.
Trump was a wrestler.
He was. Well, he wasn't a wrestler. He was in the WWE.
I know. But imagine for real, like if he was like on a mat
I know.
and he was like in a match, he would
Yeah.
beat the referee up
Yeah.
and the competitor.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. It was just like he was uncontrollable, like an animal.
What was interesting to that point was after the first few minutes, I said, you know what, let me check what the headlines, because instead of waiting till the end of the debate already, the liberal media is jumping over and it says the president trying to steamroll Biden in the, it was like president makes a mockery of the debate, and it was 15 minutes into the debate.
The second it ended, there was like the newsroom popped up, liberal media, like MSNBC type of thing. It was the second the stream ended, and they right away railed Trump for not denouncing white supremacism, which he did.
He did.
And also, the Proud Boys are not a white supremacist group.
Thank you.
Everyone keeps saying that.
Thank you. I typed that to your grandfather because
they're a mixed race organization of males.
Yes. See, your grandfather said to me that he goes, Wallace is really a plant for the Dems or whatever, and I'm thinking he's, I thought he was, considering it was a little loose for a while there. I thought he was
fair
as he could be, being on the Dems
He
side.
was pretty skeptical of Biden at times.
So, but where I think was when Trump said, "Okay, you want me to denounce a name a white supremacist group," and he said the Proud Boys.
It's not that's not a white supremacist
That
group.
just shows. And then what I did was I said, you know what? Let me look up what the media says about right away. They're a neo-fascist group who's like they make them look like they're like Nazis,
the new face of, the Ku Klux Klan.
And the Proud Boys were basically a group. First of all, the guy
started as a joke.
Yeah, and the guy who started them was the guy who started Vice News.
Right.
So he wasn't this ultra conservative psychopath, but it was a response to the fact that it's like they try to take away any masculine features in men nowadays.
Right.
And that's what they started as. Guys were tired of getting beat on and
it is something.
Yeah.
But what they're calling it is
It's
not
not.
what it is.
Correct.
So it's pretty bizarre. Now, everybody that I spoke to that's a liberal on my little short list of friends were like, did you see that Trump refused to denounce white supremacists?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? We're going to obviously have a different
Isn't it
interpretation.
amazing when you
It's
talk to somebody
crazy
from
to
the
me.
other side, how they viewed
It is
the
amazing.
same thing that you watched.
Yep, as something totally different.
Crazy.
It made me sick.
Crazy.
It made me sick.
How is that possible?
I don't know. That's what one person wrote to me. They were like, I don't know what debate you were watching. Same one as you, my friend.
Well, right then, first of all, Wallace.
He even laughed at Trump's joke uncontrollably.
Yes.
When Trump said, well, nobody would show.
Yeah, I know.
It's
and
true.
I like how he goes, the guy shows up with a mask. He's 200 feet away from anybody. He's got this big mask on. Like,
he would be a great comedian.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Imagine him in like the golf course locker room.
Oh, forget it.
You know what I mean?
Forget it.
He is probably
He's
mess.
an old school New Yorker. That's what he really is.
He really is.
And sadly, those people are less and less nowadays. He's an old school New Yorker. He's got that type of sense of humor. And
he doesn't give a crap.
No, and
he's not going to go on the stage and be controlled.
Yeah,
he's the president. He's the
Yeah,
that's the precedent he set.
The fact that it just shows how really ill-informed the media is.
It's crazy
when they call the Proud Boys a white like if you're gonna mention that and
they might be misogynistic in certain ways.
They're not
white supremacist is the wrong
right. They have all different races in their group.
Right.
But the thing is, if you're gonna
they don't admit women to the group.
Right.
But it's a boy.
Right.
It's like the Boy Scouts.
But the issue they were talking about was race.
Right.
So therefore, if you're
it's invalid.
Right. So if I was the moderator and I'm going to be talking about race as one of my questions, it might come up, like white supremacy. Let me look at some groups and but the Proud Boys, that's just like that's a term that he knows that's a hot button issue in the news.
I can't even believe it's a hot button issue.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
I've never seen the Proud Boys down in my town freaking standing there picketing.
No, well, if you look at the pictures and then when you look up Proud Boys, they have like fires raging behind them, and it's like, who are they even? It's a joke.
I don't even know what to say about it.
So
Trump did denounce white supremacy.
Yes, he did.
And for whatever the reason, everyone heard everything else he said.
I know.
Except for when he denounced it. And then they're saying that he didn't. Go back and watch it.
Right.
And then he said, stand by and stand ready.
Right.
So.
Well, I think I'm going to break this down like in an orderly fashion so we kind of cover everything. But I just think that it was, I just find it fascinating that you watched the debate, you spoke to people who are, it's like people see what they want to see, though. Both sides. I mean, I see the thing, like I'm looking for all of Biden's mistakes and, and I get it. And
I was looking for Trump's mistakes, too.
And he did make a few.
Yeah.
And I will talk about those coming up because I'm trying to give it a fair. But the first thing I wanted to bring up, which you already did, was that they called the Proud Boys a white supremacist group. Like, get it. If you're going to fight for something or you're going to learn the issues. And that just shows me people do, like, for instance, when Biden was talking about BLM,
isn't that a black supremacist group?
How could he say, but he said, that's just an idea. They're not even so that just tells me he either never read what their real issues that they're, trying to change are.
Yep.
I mean, how can this guy be running for vice president? BLM is a huge
for vice president?
For president. Well, yeah, exactly.
You're number 2.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that?
Right, yeah.
That was a zinger.
Yep. But I think
wow.
How can you not know what BLM is and come into that debate? It's like I don't get it.
Because he's literally, when they say like a puppet.
Yeah, he's a total puppet.
He's just gonna be like hung around and
so
they're he's just the mouth.
What I found interesting though was let's call a spade. I didn't like Trump's answer about the taxes as far as his paying.
Well, it actually made me feel better.
Did it?
Yeah, because I wasn't informed that he was paying millions elsewhere in taxes.
Oh, absolutely.
So if the federal government wants to work out a deal with you, if you're already shoveling out millions in tax dollars to whatever the hell they say.
You know what? That's uniform for all big businesses. Like, the thing is, people will pan big businesses for they only paid this in income tax, but like they're not.
They don't look at the big picture.
It's it's impossible not to. Like not to pay those taxes because the government sees your money, the IRS sees what you're.
So he was probably getting hammered in several, and he's going to release those returns for the people to see.
Trust me, he gets hammered in taxes. But like he said, he brought up a point which you did. What's wrong if I'm using the laws that are in place?
Right.
While Obama was in office, you could have changed them or whatever. Like
that is true. I did say that.
So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a systematic problem.
Right.
It's not a one president issue.
Right. So it is. It's just a long.
It's a long line of bullshit.
Right. So that I didn't like. I just feel he addressed it, but at first I just pay millions and millions. Like, just explain where you paid them. What areas of your business did you pay them? Just so that people on the other side can't still hammer away at that.
I like though that he was like, I'm going to be releasing them very soon. You're going to see it. And Biden's like, when?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. Yep. I like, hey man, yeah. or he's like, hey man, cool it. Like
this guy's a clown.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know what?
Shut up. That's all the media is showing, as if that was the big zinger.
Right.
He went, and then Biden went, oh, excuse me.
Right.
Like, he's got no cool about him. There's nothing cool about him.
Well, what I also didn't like, it's actually a typical gaffe by the Democrats, and that is they feel that their voters are not smart enough, like when to break down it's like they need them to tell them
to explain to them what sarcasm
like when
is.
When Obamacare came out, Nancy Pelosi was saying, look, the people aren't smart enough to really understand and read through. Like, we have to break this down. No, the people are smart enough. They just know it's a bogus plan.
Yeah.
So.
And it also hurts 180 million people versus the 80 million that Obamacare helps.
But the point I was trying to get to, as far as the way Biden kept saying, here's the deal.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. And Grandpa had texted me that. I hate that term. Here's the deal. Like, okay, so you're gonna tell us what your deal? Yeah. And then he doesn't say anything anyway. It's like he just, and
Biden's real his lifesaver, well, not even lifesaver, just the way he was able to keep his head even above water, was just turning to the camera and speaking directly to the camera because he couldn't focus. It was pretty crazy.
Well, I think that as far as stamina goes,
he got smashed.
Biden gets a lot of sympathy from the left because he's like a grandfatherly figure. But when you really look at them, they're the same age, give or take a few years. They're the same age.
Right. It's like being born in 93 or 96.
That's the difference. And then, when you look at Trump, where that guy's got the stamina, man. He went from the beginning till the end. Biden ran out of gas. By the end, he was just like,
I couldn't support a guy like that for president just on his stamina alone.
No, because, Trump, look, this was a warm-up, and again, your grandfather is very, like I said, I appreciate a lot of his input on politics and on history and stuff because he's always fair with things. He tries to look at both sides. But he brought up a good point. He said, this is really this was like a tune-up. He wanted to just gauge, okay, let me see what I really have in Biden. What am I going to be able, how is this guy going to be in a debate? And like he did with Hillary in the first one, he came out the next couple and hammered her.
Yeah.
So I think this was just like a tune-up. I think he's going to...
I don't know what it's going to be like the next two.
I think he's really going to feast on him. And once he gets riffing... See, Biden can't jump off the script.
He loses his focus instantly.
Trump can just go and go and go and
make other side points quickly.
Yes.
That support his arguments.
He's used to being a wheeler dealer. And
he knows what he's doing.
He's used to negotiating, and he's used to debating, and and you see that come out. And it's like Biden's used to talking to other politicians.
Biden's used to authoritarian control as well, where he is like the vice president.
Hey man, here's the deal. Here's what we're gonna do. It's like, it was so funny.
It's actually sad. That the left is doing that to him.
Well,
he's getting put on a world stage and getting shredded.
He doesn't have
know
to do
Trump
it.
doesn't care.
Biden didn't have
think
to
that
do
he's
it.
too mean. You know, like that's not. People don't care if. I mean, Trump doesn't care if like liberals don't think he's mean.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, Biden cares that he's getting bullied.
Yeah. Well,
and it doesn't. You know, like I just think that it's just sad for Biden because he doesn't stand a chance.
I think
the only
that
chance that he stands comes from mail-in ballots.
That's what I'm going to get to at the end of this, because that's where I think this is all going to come down to that.
It's going to be a scare. Go ahead.
But we'll get to that because that's a huge point. But I think that with Trump, the way that guy has gotten bullied, you want to talk about getting bullied.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So, I mean, nobody has gotten... I mean, how old is that kid Barron when Trump won 4 years ago? What is he? He was like
11, 12.
They were hammering him. Look, is he autistic? Like, they were hammering him already. So, you know, if you want to talk about a guy getting
Nobody
bullied,
bullies harder than the left. That's
nobody.
A fact.
Nobody. But once you meet a guy that's willing to come at you.
Right, then all of a sudden...
yeah.
Right, just like they say about the Proud Boys. It's the same...
Just like that fool when we had the protest, we went down to meet those idiots in Smithtown. The kid that, you know, he's in there cursing at spitting at a woman, and he got beat in the head with a 2x4 or something because he was swinging on other people. He's in and out of that police station trying, you know, meanwhile he's fuck the police, defund the police, fuck the cops, you know. So it's like once somebody stands up to these jerk-offs, then it's like, you know, they don't have any. So that thing with Trump being a bully, look, nobody's gotten bullied worse than that guy has since he's been president.
There was also a point where they were talking about Russia, and I noticed that Trump's eyes were like, he's sick of that crap.
Because that was
I never saw such a serious look in Trump's eyes before. Usually he's very squinty.
Yeah,
he was looking at Biden like he was going to walk up to him and punch him in his mouth.
Yeah, the second that he came into office, they started with that Russia bullshit, and, you know, he really took it at Biden's kids, too, for his sons. He went at them and, you know.
Well, the thing is, Biden could say it's not true all he wants, but the truth is the truth.
Right.
Like, how can he stand there and say it's not true if it's true?
Right. And he just, you know, but I just think Trump really, it just wasn't an evenly matched, you know. I don't know how somebody could watch that. And you know, Biden, he also
hit Warren with a Pocahontas real quick.
Yeah, that was
for me. I go for that.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, and Bernie, he brought
Crooked
Bernie up.
Hillary. All the characters made an appearance. Yeah. They really did. Oh man, it was great. It was like watching a UFC fight.
Yeah, it was. But you know, what else I found interesting was Biden did not say he supported defunding the police, which is a hot button issue for the left.
That's what it was. I was trying to remember what the thing was that he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's huge.
How can he get away with not having to give an answer on a debate stage like that? That is crazy. Oh, we're just going to keep you waiting on the biggest issue we have.
Well, first of all, the Supreme Court nominee, what I find interesting is when the left is in office and it's their turn to elect somebody when they're on their way out, Biden is the first one to stand up there and say, no, it's all right, we're in office, we need to get this thing through.
Right.
But the second it occurs on the right, and Trump's trying to push somebody through. Well, we can wait. We can wait. No, it should be the people should have time. You know, when it's like this guy.
It's the president's responsibility.
Right. And Trump made the point. Am I in office for 3 years or 4 years?
Right. Yeah. That was brilliant.
Yeah. Bottom line, you're elected for 4 years.
I'm still president.
Right. And now all of a sudden, you know, but Biden was all about that when they were in office. He was all about rushing it through. But once that's what irks me with him is he's a flea, just like he does on race.
He's a scum.
You know, you can't flip-flop on issues that are that big. Like, he didn't want blacks being bussed into school with his kids.
He also called them super predators.
Right.
I mean.
Like, what the hell? I mean.
He forgot the name of his college.
I just wonder where this. I wish that somebody on the left would really comment or just come on.
They're supporting him no matter what.
That's what I mean. Like, how can you vote for somebody that is just so hypocritical on such huge issues.
That's all they do is contradict themselves.
And I hope somebody caught, I'm sure they did. If I caught it, then you know for sure they caught it, where he said he's not for defunding the police. They should hammer that issue. Hammer him on that.
They're not going to.
Why? No, not the left. I mean the right.
Oh.
The right should drive that home in the next debate and bring that up. And, you know, he should answer for that. All the left is talking about is there should be defunding on the, you know, and you don't support that? So I would hammer that issue home.
It's a big one. That's going to be a game changer for Biden.
That is a huge issue. And I also
I can't believe that there are people out there who think that Biden won that debate. Like Andrew Yang came out and said, I guess Biden won, but for sure the American people lost.
Yeah.
How could, if that was a fight?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, come on. They're being delusional. They're literally being delusional. And I can't wait. I hope that this Trump wins again and all these psychopaths come out, then he's going to really deal with them.
Yeah. Yep. I just don't get it.
He's having a light touch right now.
Right.
He's giving help where help is asked for.
The hatred of that guy is what it's like, the personal hatred that they have towards him.
Yeah.
It's like it
blows my mind.
Covers the view of reality for them. It really
blows
does.
my mind.
Because if you really took each issue and you broke down what each guy said, I don't see how. Like, first of all, why you don't get up there and say I'm not going to answer that question, like, or I'm not like you're there to
answer
questions. So
answer the question.
Right. I mean,
that's the big problem. Is like this Chris Wallace should have been like. I mean, he did it a few times, but then there was a couple times that he gave each one of them a slip. Just answer the question.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite part of the whole night, though, unquestionably, was Chris Wallace laughing at Trump and Biden laughing at Trump.
Yeah. That was funny.
That was crazy. Yeah. That might have been a first.
Yeah, it was funny.
That was insane to me.
I just like you said, when he bring, Crooked Hillary, like he's
got this whole
it's great. If there's ever a guy I would
I think his son Don Jr. has a lot of influence on him.
100%.
I has to.
100%.
I see the way Don Jr. talks, and he's
very
privy to the younger things.
Yes.
Him and his son definitely have a lot of conferences. His son is awesome.
Yeah, I like him too. My mother hates him. Thinks
Don
he's
Jr.?
Namby-pamby, pampered.
Really?
Yeah, she can't stand him.
That's interesting.
I like him. I think he'd make a good.
He does things that I like. He does certain.
He should run for mayor in New York. That's what he should do.
Wow. That would be crazy.
That's what he should do. And then work his way up. But I think
mayor of New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then work up towards the running for the presidency one day. I think the guy is great.
I think he could probably bypass all of that.
Yeah, probably. But I'd love to see him clean up New York a little bit. I really would.
Man,
because I think he would be even more heavy-handed than his father is with things.
I don't know.
I think he's.
I don't think they're heavy-handed.
No, I don't either. But I'm saying
I
think he would be like, I think he's much more aggressive.
Donald Trump is also like nobody brings up, and he didn't even bring up. He's being nominated for his third Nobel Peace Prize.
Correct. No, it's like
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
What has Joe Biden ever done?
That's what irks me more than anything, is that
he's like, Joe.
Yeah.
I've done more in 47 months than you've done in 47 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's like, you had 47 years to do it, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
You don't start after. He really would be some comedian. I think he should go on the Joe Rogan I don't, just for himself, afterwards.
I know. He is hilarious, though. I mean, it's.
I know.
I just cannot believe how divided the country is on. I mean,
it's crazy.
There's nobody that's like, I like Biden, but I don't. It's like there's a hatred. There is just such.
I don't hate Biden.
No, I don't hate him.
He's just a bumbling old fool.
Yeah, I just don't think he's a good. I don't hate the guy.
But these people, I know what you mean. You're right. They're hissing, spitting little freaks.
Yeah, it's a vicious, disgusting hatred that they have. I mean,
I like that Trump is keeping the tension going with the election.
Yeah.
Keeping that suspense.
Yep.
I won't just roll over. Why should he?
Right.
Some people don't like it. For me, I go for that. I go for the. I don't know. He's got a big set of balls on him, that Trump.
Well, I found interesting also. Biden's big on renewables and everything else, but those have proven to be inefficient, expensive. It's like it's very easy.
Renewables?
Yeah, like different types of renewable energy and things like that. But he's just very big though at like making broad statements where he just skims the surface.
He is a typical status quo politician.
That's it.
It could have been someone from the right or the left. They all act the same way.
It's easy to say race is bad.
Yeah, right.
But then, let's
do nothing about it.
And let's hear what you're going to do. Yeah,
the tax code's a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna meet with the police. We gotta get rid of COVID first before we do anything. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
And like this.
I like the Florida governor, Rick DeSantis.
Yeah.
That guy's a savage.
Oh, God. You know what was funny? Did you notice the two women when they came up? The wives?
Yeah.
You noticed the difference?
Melania and Jill?
Yeah.
No.
Melania comes up, gives her husband a kiss on the face, has no mask. Jill Biden comes up and she's totally masked up.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference.
Very telltale visual.
Yeah.
And it's like what Biden's doing.
In my heart of hearts, I think Trump is going to win this election in a landslide.
Well, that's what we're going to get to at the end, because you brought up a very good point that I really want to kind of blow up in a minute. I agree with it, but I want to expand on it. I just wanted to quickly this thing with the COVID. Biden, you could see he's just itching to keep playing on that COVID and keep using that COVID as the it's like they play this thing up.
Right,
they play it up, scaring everybody.
They're throwing kids back into schools.
Yeah, he's throwing numbers out there, billions and
thousands.
Yeah. It's like
oh my God.
He's always wrong on the numbers. He's throwing numbers out. There's this amount died. How many people sitting across from the table and
You look in the camera. Yeah. You at home.
I read in the paper the other day a 92-year-old man died of COVID. It's like. But
he was 92.
He also had, and it's like bing, 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 bing.
Diabetes,
heart problem, this, that, the other, died of COVID. It's like, enough. You blaming Trump for the economy now, like, what the fuck? But now,
hey, look, I'm excited if he wins.
Yeah.
What this economy is going to look like in 4 years.
Yeah.
We're going to be cranking.
As long as they don't throw another bullshit thing in, shutdown of some sort or anything.
Let me make a point quickly too about Andrew Cuomo yesterday. I don't know if you watched his speech. You should look into it because he was saying some really fascinating stuff. A couple things I just want to touch on about it. First of all, he denied the National Guard to help in New York City on the Nights of Anarchy.
Right.
But there's a sanitation problem in New York City right now. Garbage is piling up, and he'll call the National Guard in to pick up the trash. I take that as an insult to the armed forces. Like, I know they'll do anything, and that's what makes them special.
They should have just picked up the human trash. That's what they should have done.
Right. So that's like a slap in the face to me that he's willing to call in our
Well, look, they were willing to allow those protests to go on, but they weren't allowing people to gather for other celebrations. I mean, it's hypocrisy.
Have a virtual Thanksgiving.
It's hypocrisy. The whole left. It's all based on hypocrisy. They just, racism bad, COVID bad, and it's like, that's just a hot button issue. I could keep
it's like an infection.
Here's the deal, dummies. It's like the way he even speaks. He's talking to the dummies. Here's the deal, dummies. COVID, we got to get rid of this COVID before, everybody, and Trump, everybody knows, look, you wash your hands. If you're close to people, you throw a mask on, and you fucking go to work.
Right.
They
did more harm with lockdowns.
Right. And all I've heard was that he just wants keep it going. Same thing. Shut down. Schools and this and that. And it shouldn't be
I wonder who that helps at the end of the day.
Helps him. Helps him get elected.
It helps our competition.
Correct.
Who it helps.
Everybody but
You think
us.
China's not open? You know what I mean? They're rocking and rolling, man.
That's why, see, when you look at what they do with COVID, that's why they've kept this racism bullshit alive all these years, because it's an easy way to get votes. You play on the bleeding hearts, you get their votes. Racism, 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 COVID, 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 racism, and it's like very easy for the dummies who have no, like, they don't actually think. I love when I look at like a black guy and he's like, you know, some woman put up how all these, you know, like Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, all these racist brands. He goes, I don't really think it's racist, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's a black guy, and a white woman's like, well, you should be It's like,
well, what about Chef Paul Prudhomme? He has the spices you might see in the supermarket. He's a white guy from New Orleans who's fat and wears his little kangaroo hat
I know
thing.
he is.
Is that racist?
No, I know.
You know, it's just a guy. Is Burt's Bees racist?
It's very easy. Like, they have to create. Look, as you notice with Biden,
it goes to show you though how stupid some people. They are talking to stupid people. Actually,
that's why he's got to say, "Look, here's the deal." Yeah,
right. Because that's all these idiots.
He can't just start the sentence and say, "This is what we're gonna do with the issue." No, here's the deal, people. You gotta look. You know.
And then they try to accuse Trump of not being a mask wearer, but he keeps a mask on him and he uses it common sense. So it's like,
that's what everybody should have done. And what's fun, you know, from the beginning. But what's funny is now Biden's saying he should have shut down, but in the beginning,
Trump was a prejudiced person for saying that China's getting
like, how can you vote for somebody who just flip flops on everything? I don't get it.
People are making up facts.
I don't hate Biden. I don't dislike him. I just don't like the way he is on issues.
I also don't like that he looks like he's going to drop dead.
Yeah, well, that you can see. Yeah, I mean, he looks horrible.
That's the biggest thing for me.
But I don't get how the left, it's like this fucking, they're like spitting cobras. They just hate the guy. Just look at how he is on the issues. You know, that's all.
But you know what? He's going to have the Supreme Court pick.
Yeah.
They're going to flood the court.
And
chances are, like I said, he's going to hit this next 4 years hard.
I hope so.
And if he does, bye-bye.
Well, that brings up the, you know, your grandfather said to me, well, we're just going to have to wait and see till Election Day. You know, the problem is,
the Democrats are shitting their pants.
We're probably not going to see on Election Day who the president is, because
that gives me.
Who knows how long these fucking mail-in votes? They are just like they keep racism alive
and COVID.
They don't tackle issues head on. They just kind of keep these
they
issues
use the flaws in the system to They use them to make a mess.
So now the next loophole that they're going to keep riling people up is no. Biden's president. The write-in votes. There's more. You know,
there's more votes.
Trump's a king. He's trying to be like. These write-in votes are such a joke.
But who has the final say on if we're doing that or not? I don't understand. Is that a state by state?
Well,
on a federal
there were certain
election?
states that used it in the past. There were certain you can go state by state. There were certain states that have had write-in votes before, but they were done in a much orderly way. Like right now, because of COVID,
everything is screwed up.
People are scared to go vote. People are scared. I'm not fucking scared.
I'm not scared.
You know. But they keep playing that up. Biden, you notice, if you're scared to go vote, you know, well, scared of what? And what's funny is, like Trump said, people should. Why do you got to throw out? What I find interesting is he said that there were people that were kind of watching some of the elections. They were throwing those guys out, but when he got elected, they had some black fucking looked like Black Panthers standing in front.
Yeah.
But you can't tell those guys they're scaring the fuck out of everybody.
Right.
But you can't tell them to leave.
Right.
It's hypocrisy.
Well,
and that's all the left is hypocrisy. Look, if they went at the issues and they had really, you know, solid answers on the issues, I would really look and see, okay, maybe, you know, it's not that I'm steadfast against them, but all I've ever seen out of that side is hypocrisy over everything.
I really want to know, like, all these, like, Cuomo's and Garcetti's, and they were probably all at home last night just like...
No, they were probably doing what your buddies did that you were talking to. Yeah, Biden, you know, Trump is such a bully, and it's like...
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, but in their heart of hearts,
Yeah, they know.
Down, they know the deal.
They know. Yeah. It's the dummies that don't know.
Right. So they talk to the dummies.
Yes, that's what they do.
And they try to keep it
cool. And they
cool.
come out and say, Biden won. Trump's a bully. Yeah, Biden.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like they did with Hillary.
Right.
Please.
Nothing was. I mean, look what happened when. I've never seen a breakdown in people when Trump won. If you just go from channel to channel and you watch the reactions, it's like
I can't even look at that stuff anymore because I'm starting. Though I don't hate Joe Biden, but I don't like those people.
No,
I have a real problem with them
because they're not fair. They don't look at things fairly.
No.
And
no, they don't.
You know what? Like I said, the beauty of me having been living check to check with a family as a teacher, and to being pretty well off when I owned my business, I see both sides. You know, I'm not somebody who had a silver spoon in my mouth, in my mouth, and
either. I came from young parents,
right?
And
so
it's like almost like if you had someone or a few people in your life who loved you, that's like it's like, come on, what are you guys talking about?
That's
you freaks.
Yep.
Go back to drama class.
Yep. Well,
I hate to say it. I hate to say it. It's just what it is.
It's true. Well, that's why when I passed the Smithtown Theater for the Performing Arts, they were all the the little like soft little doughboy white boys are out there with their signs, BLM.
Yeah, Gavin
when I
McInnes
walked by, they were like this. They thought I was gonna after the parade, I had gone down the block. And then I was by myself, and I came walking by that theater, and they're all sitting out there. BLM. The second I walked by, they put their signs down, and they were like, they thought I was gonna I was coming to hit them or something. I was just walking by. It was the funniest thing. They were like,
I don't like them.
Hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, no.
I would have just went like this. Boom.
Yeah.
See what they would have done. Please, hold the cops.
Yeah, like I was just there. Walking by.
Oh God, I can't wait. I can't wait for them.
But that's the type. It's like, it's all the people that are not. It's like they're not strong.
I want to round them up and send them all to China.
It's like weak characters, weak people that have very terrible views of themselves. They came, they
very conflicted.
Yeah, those are the ones that those issues are comforting to them. It's like they can latch on, and what happens is because they were ostracized when they were young, and because maybe their daddy or mommy didn't give them enough hugs. It's like now they find the commonality with all these other weirdos,
with their comrades,
and that's it.
Right.
And that's why you have these groups, and it's very easy for them. Like you watch them, it's like I watch those people marching down the street, and man, it's like if you ever talk about a stereotypical group,
right there they are.
That group that marched down the street, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to deal with any. But all you got to do is watch.
Yeah.
And
that's what Trump likes to say. He's like, just watch.
That's it. Just watch.
It's true.
Watch what walks down in front of you. And everything I thought I'd see, I saw.
I just really dig that, Gavin McInnes has his own little, podcast or whatever now. But I really dig when he's sitting there drinking a bottle of Budweiser.
Yeah.
And he's just he reminds me of someone that would have, hung out, I don't know, he's like a time traveler maybe.
Well, you know what they say he looks like? Michael Douglas in Falling Down. You ever see that movie he was he wore a white business shirt with glasses. He had a flat top.
Yeah.
And he walked into a McDonald's or a fast food place, and the girl's like, "What's your order?" And he's like, he ordered it or whatever, and she's like, "Can you hurry?" Every place he went, he just took abuse.
Yeah.
And his boss was like, "You're 3 minutes late. Did you know that we have a meet?" And finally, he just he starts walking around with a gun. So, but they say that's who Gavin McInnes, that's who he's trying to dress like,
Gavin McInnes is just a funny dude.
Yeah,
really, out of anything, he's a
very
comedian.
Funny. And when the Proud Boys go, if they've ever gone berserk, he denounces it. He's
not even a part of it.
No.
He left it within months of it being created.
Yeah. And he doesn't like the extremes on either side. He left Vice when Vice became too
He deals with the same stuff that Alex Jones deals with.
Yes. They're very different.
Very. But it's the same.
It's like the media.
They'll hate him forever,
right,
no matter what.
The media makes this, here is who he is. They put him in a box.
Right. And they create his identity.
And this is who he remains forever.
Yes.
regardless if he denounces, if he doesn't. It's just
doesn't matter.
That's
white
who he
male.
is. That's
white male who likes being a man.
He's the picture, right? It's like that's who they throw the darts at, you know. And
Kiss
that's
my
why
ass.
they started, because they're tired. They were tired of this absurd level of political correctness that we have in this country.
I can't believe that there's a part of me that wants Trump to win and send in troops to major cities and take them over.
Yeah.
I really want that.
Yeah. Well,
I would love to see Chicago get occupied by the U.S. military. I'd love to see New York City get occupied.
well, like he said, he would clean these problems up in like 10 minutes.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
By the next day, we'd be all like birds would be singing.
Yep.
COVID would be gone.
Yep. Yeah.
Restaurants and catering facility, weddings, everything.
Show must go on. Everything's open. You know, it's like totally a different philosophy, totally a different way. But it's just you could see it. Biden just wants to keep these issues going because he'll ride these issues out for 4 years
until he passes away.
Yeah, whatever. He'll ride them out.
COVID
race,
will be his,
race, and if he God forbid he wins and God forbid he ever runs again, that'll race. We've done more for race in my presidency. It's like on.
He's
and on,
probably the most racist son of a bitch you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
This is the other thing. People think they know people.
Yes. Yeah. But it's like
you don't know Joe Biden.
The dialogue and the text of what he said in the past is available. Why don't they look? Because they don't want to know. They don't want to see it.
I really don't know how many blacks are going to go for Biden, to be honest with you. Trump's track record is better with minorities than Joe Biden's is.
He's done a lot for minorities.
Kamala Harris has hurt minorities.
Yes. Yep. Have you heard what she's had to say about this?
Just called Trump a bully.
Yeah, that's all. Meanwhile, look at who's talking.
I wonder what the Pence-Harris debate's going to be like.
Well, you talk about a bully.
Right. She's a bully.
She is.
You know who else is a bully? Elizabeth Warren.
Yes. Yes. Disgrace. Nancy Pelosi.
Elizabeth Warren reminds me a lot of my political philosophy, teacher from college.
Teacher, of course.
That's what she is.
Of course. That's their breeding ground in colleges.
I know her. I actually feel like she was my professor at one point. Shame to even have to call her a professor, but
of course, though.
You know what I mean? She has that persona like to the T.
Well, Kamala Harris, when you talk about a bully, that woman, anybody who worked with her has said
she's like Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah, she's just a bully. She's a total bully. And, Nancy Pelosi, when she got, when they had that hang up about her being in the hairdresser, she hung that woman out to dry, bullied her, and if she was able to, she probably would have deposited her somewhere,
It's no joke.
It's
filthy, disgusting pigs they are.
Yep.
Disgusting.
The liberal news media.
Disgusting.
Bullies. They're bullies.
Look at Chris Cuomo. Look at Don Lemon.
God.
Tools. It's funny, too, because, again, go protest in front of Chris Cuomo's house. See what happens.
Yeah. No, I know.
Go protest on Don Lemon's block.
Well, look what happened when the guy called him... he couldn't take the high road when the guy called him Fredo.
He had to go into a fist fight.
He was ready to throw fists.
He would have got his ass whipped anyway.
But he's ready. It's like, stop trying to be a bully and just be above that. Be above it. Like you like to take the high road.
Let me tell you, Andrew Cuomo's got a lot to lose if Trump wins. And he was talking. That's why I was trying to get into this a little bit.
Yeah, go. Now we can.
Because I made my first point about it, but just the second thing that he said that I thought was really interesting was he was talking about the election.
Yeah.
And him and Trump have a special little beef.
Yes.
Trump gets along better with Gavin Newsom than he does with Andrew Cuomo. Yep. They hate each other. And
well, I could see Cuomo is a tough guy to get along with if you're against his
right. He's the Don.
Yeah.
He's Governor Meatball's son.
Governor Meatball.
But he was bringing attention to the point that New York City has a extreme economic crisis going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to actually hear him acknowledge that.
Sure.
Because now he's digging his own grave and de Blasio's grave.
Yeah. Yep.
I put just on a side note, tangent, I put de Blasio on for 5 seconds yesterday speaking about the New York City budget. I couldn't watch it for more than 20 seconds. He looks just like Biden.
Yeah.
Lost.
Yep.
You need people who are assertive, who can get the job done. I've not seen de Blasio get any job accomplished other than painting his stupid mural. He's a loser. And then you have Cuomo, who's now admitting, we really need, if Trump gets elected and they cut federal funding, we will have to raise your taxes.
Yeah.
So New York, in a sense, I think the picture Cuomo's trying to paint is that New York, it's like do or die. If you vote for Trump, New York's going to lose all of its funding. Millionaires and billionaires' taxes get raised, which honestly, personally, I think a billionaire tax should be there.
Yeah.
But that's just my little thing.
I get it.
But that's what he's threatening.
If you could afford it and it doesn't affect your standard of living and so forth, then you should.
It has to be fair.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm not saying 50%. I don't think that's fair.
No.
I think like 28% is fair. I mean, like, it's just
when you make so much money where it's not going to affect you really.
Is 300 million or like 250 million gonna like make her,
And we had interesting feedback. You had brought something up where to your tax proposal. Somebody texted me privately about it. You had said that you felt, and I understood where you were coming from, where you said to school taxes, if you've never had a child in school, then you shouldn't have to be a part of that. Now, the argument on the other side, or another point that came in, was, well, what about if you look at it as by paying into it and having better schools, better education in the long run, your life is improved. That's the other argument.
But I also, I mean,
I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just telling you it was interesting feedback that came.
If nobody drank alcohol, my life would be improved.
I know. No, I get it.
If nobody smoked cigarettes, my life would be improved.
I think it comes down to what people can truly afford or not afford.
I also believe I reserve the right to be to contradict myself sometimes. Sure. I also think taxation is theft. But we're at a point where.
You mean like in general?
In general, taxation is theft, unless it's representative.
But how? So okay.
Unless it's it needs representation. Right. I want to see exactly where the money goes. We don't. You don't know. It just goes. It comes out of your bank account, goes into some pool, and then you assume.
Well, you can probably, to a certain extent, you can look at where it goes. But I understand what you're saying.
Not for the common person.
No,
not for the minimum wage worker who's paying more than.
Well, I think it is itemized in some cases. They can't see where some of it's going, but I just think.
Well, how much of it can't you see where it goes?
That's the point. I mean, eventually, when some of it's going into large funds and whatnot, but
and then it just
FICA and things like that, you see where that goes. But I'm just saying, like, I think somebody making like $200,000, they don't need to get hammered.
Absolutely not.
But it's the people making like a Jeff Bezos type of guy.
He doesn't pay any tax.
I'm saying, like, those are the types of people where it's not going to affect anything to them. Then I could see it. But
as much as I want to get up on the soapbox and scream about that Jeff Bezos doesn't pay any tax, I got to really start to look into, like, well, where is he paying tax? They're getting him somewhere.
That's the thing. They are absolutely. And you also have to look at what he does for the economy. Right. You know what I mean? Like, there's always the yin and the yang.
I don't know what he does. I don't know if it hurts it or helps it, to be honest with you.
At the end of the day, there's a lot of people working for Amazon. I mean, he creates a lot of jobs. There's
a lot of businesses that are dead because of Amazon.
Yeah, well, that's the other, But that's been happening.
I know.
It's just I remember, it's crazy. I remember when, like, there was a sports store back in the day at Smith Haven Mall, and this is going back, called Herman's. And this was around 81, 82. And it was a big sporting goods store, and what happened was a lot of people, instead of going to the little mom and pop shops, were going to Herman's. Herman's went out. And then it's like you saw the
Sports Authority.
Then all of a sudden, Dick's.
And
Modell's. It's like bang, bang, bang. And all they're doing is just bigger building. I remember Sports Authority came out, and I was like, they can never top this. And then you see Dick's. It's like a multi-level and just enormous place.
Amazon also outsources an insane amount of their labor to India and China and the Philippines.
Absolutely.
So that pisses me off.
That's a problem with in general.
And then Joe Biden last night tried to sneak in this little, we're going to make it all in China. I mean, in America.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say that was my own little slip. But he meant to say, we're going to have a program where we're going to make everything in America.
Yeah, sure. I know.
I'll believe it when I see it, Tool. You didn't do that when you were vice president.
Right.
You didn't do that in the other 40
Like I said, it's very easy to make sweeping statements.
Right.
But without a comprehensive plan,
record.
And that's where you just don't see, even when he's looking at that camera, all he's doing is just
pandering.
Broad statements.
Just listen to me.
Yeah, headlines. Racism is very bad. We got to get rid of COVID. Then to the next thing. It's like, okay, what's your comprehensive plan to prop up businesses during this time, and what are you going to do?
I got to give credit where credit's due. Mm-hmm. Trump handled the pandemic. We're all still here for the most part, except for the people that passed away from it. But it's like the numbers have been so blurred, is the point, that you really don't know what's COVID and what's not COVID. And I know that it's like a hot button issue for people, and I understand. But
that's where the numbers are really skewed. Like
that's
I said,
problem.
92-year-old guy with 10 health problems, but the what you see is this.
If you had cancer,
you know who the guy was? One of the original Four Seasons.
Right? Yeah, I heard about.
Tommy DeVito died.
Yep. 92.
When you look at the guy, his blood pressure had to be through the roof because he was like one of those totally jumpy, and has other heart issues and so forth. And I read his obituary. Tommy died of COVID. It's like, what?
If you have cancer, they chalk it up to COVID.
What?
If you have anything, it's COVID.
Yeah,
COVID,
come on.
COVID.
92 years old. The guy lived a long life. God bless him.
And there would have never been this undue pressure on the poor working families who got to pick vegetables and stuff if they didn't make everyone leave their jobs. Then nobody would have thought about it. Everyone's working. But because a huge group of people got the luxury to get to go home and get paid, and then these people still had to work, well, whose fault is that?
Yeah. Yep.
That was pressure from the government. Trump would have handled it if he had the authority to do so a different way.
Well, you saw it was a no-win situation because he got killed in the beginning for not closing down, and now they're killing him for closing down.
Right.
It's like
and then at least he can answer the question. They're like, well, do you disagree with the scientists?
I mean, it was the opposite, rather. In the beginning, it just whatever.
I know what you're saying, though.
Crazy.
And then, that was a hot question for him. Do you disagree with the scientists? He did.
Yep.
He gave him a straight answer. Yeah, I disagree with him. I was sitting with him yesterday.
Yep.
What are you going to do? Biden can't give answers. He'd rather just sit there. I mean, people are.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yep.
People are just so...
It's the hatred. I mean, I can't even... The typical liberal boobs that I've known in my life, when I look online...
There they are.
Boom. It's like, God.
There they are in all their glory.
Yep.
Just...
So, I didn't type one thing. I didn't care. I just let it be.
The only thing I had to comment on was when
Wallace laughed.
Wallace laughed. I mean, I laughed. I laughed like hysterically, which never happens.
They all laughed. It was hilarious. There's no question about it. I mean, I just, like I said, I don't get how you watch something, and then one of your friends will watch it, and it's
a
just
totally difference of opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's why
and
some
the difference
friends
between the two guys,
are not really your friends.
Yeah, well, the difference between those two guys. That's why they say you never talk politics, never talk religion. You want to keep a friend, you never talk politics.
Well, me and my buddy Travis are right there on.
Well, it's different if you guys are.
It's like nice to have at least one. Or actually, he's the only friend that I have that I see regularly.
Sure.
Who me and him if we have like a little slumber party, we'll watch like Joe Biden bloopers, like like after like the party's done or whatever, and we just crack up for hours. It's so funny. He came out and he goes, he like walks up to Joe Biden, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Joe Biden." He's like, he just does. He's just out of. It's sad. It's not even right. He shouldn't be there.
No, well, I mean, but it's not like he's forced to. I mean,
it's like a Weekend at Bernie situation.
Like, he likes it though. He likes to, he's a lifetime politician.
Yeah, he's addicted to it.
He loves it. Loves the lifestyle. But he's.
I wouldn't like being him last night.
No.
You know what? Imagine his heart rate. That can't be healthy for the guy.
Well, you know that there's doctors backstage for him and everything else.
Imagine he would have had a stress attack or something.
Well, I gotta say, I
give him credit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But again, they're the same fucking age.
Right.
Like they're a few years apart. It's not like you got a 40-year-old guy or 45-year-old guy.
I really did feel bad. Like obviously, my support is nowhere even close to the guy, just because I don't consider him to be competent. Yeah. I do feel bad though that he stutters and I would never poke fun at that.
No, I don't think it's. I
really hope that Trump.
Like I said, that's the difference I find. Well, no, you know what? I don't want to say that because there are a lot of right. That's why I don't identify with the people who are totally on the right.
Like anyone who's going to poke fun at that, you're a jerk, man.
Right.
He's an old man. He's had numerous brain surgeries. He is a good American in the scheme of things.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe he isn't though. I mean, his son got all that money from the mayor of Moscow.
Like I said, there's no perfect people out there. There's always people have skeletons. Regardless, I'm not saying whether he's good, not good, but I just don't find it.
The cocaine thing was crazy, but his son?
Yeah.
Woo! That's heavy for a debate.
To me, I just strictly look at the issues. And that's how
anybody
I make my
who pokes
vote.
fun at the guy, though, for that kind of stuff is just like a jerk, man.
Yeah.
Let that be.
But I find a lot of people on the left, man, they'll attack
anything.
Everything.
Right.
Anything
that's
on
the
Trump
difference
is
between
fair game.
them and us.
Yeah.
Is that we don't do that.
There's a segment on the right that do. Those are the real annoying.
I can't stand them either.
Me neither. But I find anybody on the left hates Trump. It's
Absolutely.
there's no.
I know a guy who drives around. He hates Trump so much that he keeps Trump toilet paper as a relic.
Bizarre.
It's like you're
bizarre.
Disgusting.
Bizarre.
But I got to give credit to my earlier point where credit's due.
Mm-hmm.
Trump just fought off the pandemic, fought off the media hype.
Sure.
Met with Kim Jong-un in his presidency.
Yeah.
Established a great peace deal in the Middle East.
The economy was rolling.
Ripping and rolling.
Yeah.
I was making the most money at any point in my life during those 3 years.
Yep.
He's on a debate stage in the midst of the pandemic after handling everything he just handled.
Yep.
Ready to go and rip this guy apart.
Mm-hmm.
And he wakes up this morning and he's still the president.
Yeah.
Conducting global. He's Space Daddy, as they call him on the Joe Rogan. The space. That's what the U.S. president is.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the commander of this flying freaking ball.
Yeah, basically. Isn't
that crazy? And he just tore that guy a new freaking bunghole, man.
That was.
It was hard to watch.
It was. But again,
I actually sympathize for Joe Biden.
Again, like serious. I said, though, there are people. For us, we're feeling this way. There are people that watched it
who want to see Trump get drawn and quartered.
Yeah, but who feel that Biden won.
I don't get it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like as much as
if that was a fist fight, use your head. Who would have won?
It wouldn't have been close.
Biden would have been dead.
Yeah. But
people are, that's a game. See, for Andrew Yang or Cuomo or any of these fools to come out. Oh, Biden won.
Oh, it is a game.
They know he didn't win. They're just going to say it for the positivity effect.
Right. And then the sheep that followed that side.
Oh, Biden won.
Biden won.
And the only thing I've seen on the news is Biden saying, "Would you just shut up, man?"
Yeah, I know.
But I saw it with my own two eyes, and everyone else who was watching the live stream that I was watching got the same. The second the camera feed ended, there was a black news reporter lady, and she was just all over Trump, calling him disgusting, essentially,
Yeah.
And then Don Jr. came on and was like, nah.
Yeah.
He wasn't having it. He wouldn't let her.
Did you hear the two guys yell at the end of the debate where they
What'd they say, Baba Booey?
No. They said, they go, Trump, best president in our history.
Oh, yeah.
Trump!
It was probably Jared Kushner and Don Jr.
But they yelled it. They came right out. Trump, best president in the history of the country.
I got to say, we'll see how the next 4 years go.
Yeah.
But at the moment, Trump may be.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't.
I like when he goes down that I've done the most for blacks since Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
What if he's right?
He is right.
He is.
You know, when you look at certain aspects of it, he is right. Like some people say, no, Lyndon Johnson did, but there's always
horse manure. I say to that.
Yeah, there's always arguments about it and whatnot. It's tough to say. You know, you can make proclamations and stuff, but
he's outrageous. You know, he says he's
But I think he has done a lot, and I think that you know. But it was funny.
He's like, you gave me a broken military.
Yeah.
Woo! Yep. Listen, he makes great points. Whatever.
I went back and I watched the Reagan-Carter debates, and man, it's like, wow, what a difference! Just the whole decorum of things, and
there was respect.
Yeah, even the moderator and the way
Hey, Chris Wallace, man, that might have been the first.
He had his hands full.
Yeah, he did. He was like, well, I know now I'm debating you.
Yeah,
but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he had his hands full. It was like, you know.
There was no quarter for him. Joe Biden was like, can I get my 2 minutes back?
Yeah. Mr. President. Nope, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Yeah, it was.
Trump's
like you put like a
he didn't even listen. He just kept going,
with like a bunch of babies.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It felt like he was so prepared, like eye of the tiger.
Yeah. He just kept going. He didn't.
That's his tactic, and I hope he sticks to it. Yeah. I think that anybody with half a brain who's watching him is going to realize that that's the guy.
It's all thought out beforehand. He knows what he's going to do.
Yeah, it's not like he's just going out there with a random tactic.
No.
You know?
He knew he was going to be having to kind of steamroll.
Answer for things also, you know. So it was.
So that was the first.
You said you had a point though that you wanted to blow up about.
Well, no, there was the point about those mail-ins. Like I said, that was like I just think that it
by request, like Trump said, it's fine. If you request the ballot,
right,
then whatever.
The problem is, it's not going to be. You know, and he knows it. I listened to his son weeks ago, and been their biggest fear is that those mail-ins are going to be an issue. And I think it's almost like the racism issue, the COVID issue. The Dems latch on to these things instead of tackling the issues head on and changing things and really
they hold it. You're 100% right.
They're going to hold that and they're going to beat that to death and try to get him in there. And you know,
I think I really always try to speak off the cuff and from the heart about anything. And sometimes I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm wrong, I always admit to my faults. But I honestly felt like Joe Biden told quite a few more lies on that stage than Donald Trump did.
Yes. Yep. Without a doubt. I would agree with that. I think he and I don't think he really gave
He didn't put anything into it.
No, he didn't. He can't. He just can't. Because, you know, to me, the number one reason, if I had to take away one reason why I would not vote for Biden, was that he did not denounce BLM.
Right.
Simple as that. Because I did research. Right. I researched BLM. I know what they're about. I know what their real causes are.
Yeah.
And you're nuts if you can't denounce them. You're nuts.
I bet you BLM denounces Joe Biden.
He doesn't even acknowledge that they're a group.
I know, it's a thought. It's
you know what?
A concept.
To me, right there, I would never vote for him.
Trump was great, though. He goes, what classifies as mostly peaceful, Joe?
Yeah, right.
You know, like...
burning down buildings, burning businesses down, like, you know, it's like...
The argument, your party...
Well, that was like when CNN was, mostly peaceful protests.
There's a freaking burning city.
Freaking sky, you know... big building on fire behind the guy.
And then there's Chris Cuomo. Show me where it says the protest got to be peaceful. And there's this funny meme, this fat kid eating ramen noodles, but not cooked, eating the noodles like as a brick. And then in the back is like a little screen. He's like, in the Constitution, Chris Cuomo. And he points to like where it says it exactly.
So funny.
These people are jerks.
Yeah. Yep.
They're just jerks. Joe Biden, this is so unpresidential.
Yeah, I know.
Well, tough shit. That's the worst part for them, is that they gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
They gotta talk to Trump.
I know. Insane.
Nancy Pelosi has nuts saying, why bother?
I know.
You know why bother.
She's just...
I just...
You know, she's another one. Just a bully.
Well, that's the one I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I know.
Because she'll be president for 8 days, or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't thinking about that.
No, I know. But that's why those mail-ins, I'm telling you,
that's a game, man. I want someone to answer for this money from the mayor of Moscow.
Yeah, I know.
I need to know more about that. I didn't even hear about that.
Yep. What? You don't hear about the issues on that side.
Right.
And
like, what the hell?
They disappear very quickly.
It's funny to me that all they do is talk Russia,
Yep.
and nothing about China.
Right. Yep.
Why is that? Can anyone answer that question out there? I need people on the left to listen to this.
Yeah. No,
I need some people to enlighten me why there's never any criticism of China coming from the left from anyone credible.
Never.
Could it be that they're in, I don't want to say cahoots, but it seems like they are. Mass shutdowns would only benefit China.
I know. It's the problems disappear very quickly.
While they're gearing up for world control, while they're developing their military, while they're doing all of these things, America's sitting here getting fat and lazy and stoned and drunk and depressed. That's a great point that Trump made.
Yeah.
It is so true.
Yeah. You've said it before on here.
It is so true. The mental health of of the current state of the world is disgusting.
Yep.
We need to. That's where we can actually take the lead.
And Biden just wants to keep that going.
Right. Keep the doom and gloom up.
That's how they latch on. It's like there's a car flying and they're just holding on to the bumper. Yeah. And that car is COVID.
They're like sketching on a skateboard.
Race and COVID. They're just hanging on.
I think the vice presidential debate should be interesting.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think Pence has got his hands full.
Yes, he does.
He's got a fiercer component to deal with than Trump has.
Yeah, but I think she's
doing his homework on her.
Yeah, and I think that she's somebody that could somehow make a mistake on her. Like, she can. The thing is, she'd be doomed if she had to debate Trump, because he would get her
on everything.
He would
I'm sure
she's
Trump
a bully.
Yeah,
she's a bully. So she's gonna come out and she's gonna have her. Pence is a much more mild-mannered guy.
Yeah.
The thing with Harris is that she has the ability to stick her own foot in her mouth.
Yeah.
So I feel like if Trump was there, jabbing, she could trip up. I don't see, I don't know if Biden can get that out of her.
It feels like it's almost impossible to trip Trump.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anyone do it yet.
This was light work for him last night.
It was.
This is nothing. Compared to the negotiations he's had in business, this knucklehead, this was nothing. It was light lifting for him last night.
First thing the news team said was, this was pretty hard to watch. I don't know if we'll be able to have another 2 debates like this.
Oh, I know. Oh, poor Biden.
Let me play the
poor
violin for
Biden.
you.
Take a look at when Trump was born. Take a look at when Biden was born. It's less than 5 years.
The world was the same place.
Yeah. Yep.
Take a look at the pictures.
If you feel that bad, then why would you want him running your country in the middle of COVID, or so they say, in the middle of these race issues, right?
A double Cold War with China, Russia. Come on, man.
Right. He can't even debate one guy,
And then oh my God, China would love nothing more.
They're licking their chops.
Yeah, they're like, please, Biden,
Put this doofus in, please.
That's what I like about Trump. He takes absolute dominance of.
Yeah.
That's what you want in a president.
Yeah. Yep. But see, you notice the left. They don't. That's why the Proud Boys started. It's like anyone who's a masculine man.
Or an alpha personality.
They don't like them.
Right. They don't like leaders.
They want the guy to... Right. They like followers.
Right.
They want guys to come in and...
Because a woman could do the same job Trump's doing if she would...
Yes.
But
so that's the thing. They don't like alphas, like you said. So they would rather the guy come in and, we'll get our asses beat by China,
No.
So...
Well,
dumb.
That's our coverage of the first presidential election, debate of 2020. Leave your questions and comments, and...
I would love to hear it.
Yeah, I guess I would, too.
What was your take on this for everybody? What do you guys... Because I'm curious, because the way Tom said it, him and his he and his friends watched it, and there was like they watched two completely different debates. I'd like to hear other people's feedback on what they think.
Yeah, I got some. I mean, right after the debate, I got some text messages from some people who were obviously on my wavelength.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
others,
the other side
though, and it actually like almost messed my sleep up.
Yeah, I'd like to hear the other side, hear what they have to say, because again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So I'd love to hear it.
I just want to also like put out the warning to people that all of this like pussification that we're doing
doesn't end well.
It's not good for our country.
Look at Europe before World War II.
Right.
Bottom line. So
stop being so sympathetic.
Right.
Stop being such crybabies.
Right.
Like
Hitler was not looked at as Hitler before World War II.
No.
You know?
Nope. Appeasement doesn't work.
Wolf in sheep's clothing. Beware.
Right.
So.
Anyway, everybody have a great Wednesday, and we will be in touch soon.